Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, this is day 2 of the Sex Wise Parent course. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel, and you're welcome to today's course. So, day 1 was educative, it was impactful. And here we are in day 2, and the topic says how to have sex conversation with your boys and girls. Where are the parents of boys and girls? Where are you? You're welcome to this place. You're welcome. You're welcome. So at any time you join us, just send in your favorite emojis. Today we're going to be snappy. It's Friday. So send in your favorite emojis. Tell us where you're watching us from. At any time you join us. The replay will also be through the link. So I still remain Amarachi Eze. We're going straight to what we have. So let me upload my slide. How to have sex conversation with your boys and your girls. So looking at the picture, okay, I can see someone here. You're welcome. So tell us where you're watching us from. Send in your favorite emoji. You're welcome. While others join, we'll continue. Looking at the pictures on my slide, there is one thing that is very captivating. One thing is profound. There is a healthy relationship between the parents and the child you see in the picture. You can see how their parents are relating with them. So for sex conversation to be effective, this kind of relationship must exist between your child, your boy or your girl child. So this relationship has to exist so that you will get the real information, the real message you want to pass across to your child. And also your child will be open to have these discussions with you. So we'll be diving right straight to what we have. What is the objective of this course? By the end of this course, we should be able to understand the important sex concepts when it comes to having sex conversations. There are very important self-concepts we need to teach our children, or we need to impact in them by the way we relate with them, so that they are well equipped to face challenges when it arises. Then we'll also need to understand how to have this sex conversation with our children. So what are the basic self-concepts, in sex conversation? The first one is self-identity. Self-identity, this answers the question of who are you? Who are you? Are you a girl? Are you a boy? Am I beautiful? Am I fearfully and wonderfully made? So if a child is able to understand who he is, he will be able to maneuver things concerning conversations. When he will be able to maneuver the conversations when it comes to sex. But the thing is that sometimes you may tell a child who he is, that he's a boy or he's a girl, but who does this child think he is based on the way we relate with them? Who do your child think he or she is? Does he think that he's actually a boy? Maybe some people in their class tells him, you look like a girl. Or as parents, we may have done one or two things that makes them feel, I am very beautiful. I look like a girl. I can behave like one. Or their peers have influenced them. You can put on earring. If you put, you will make it, you will look so nice. So these are the things that shaping a child's conception of who he is. How does he perceive himself? There are voices talking to him, based on what culture has said, based on what his peers has said, based on what parents have said. Most times, sometimes we keep telling our children, see your head is as big as. Teachers can also tell themselves, you're big for nothing. So all these things shaping the child identity of who he or she perceives herself to be. Sometimes they can even ask, even if they can really keep asking, am I really beautiful? Based on what people have said. So if from childhood you're able to help your child understand who he or she is, then it's difficult to be moved by anything people say. It's difficult to be moved by anything parents say, teachers say, their peers say. So many concepts are coming up. The transgender, people believe that, oh, anytime I feel like I can become a boy, anytime I feel like I can become a girl. But if your child, right from onset, is able to know that, oh, I am a girl, and nothing changes it, because that is how God made it. And you're able to show this child in the scripture, because as Christian families, we base our words from the scripture. So if the Bible have said, I am either a boy or a female or a girl, then you teach your child that and tell her that the basis of every discussion you have in this family is from the Bible. So if your child is able to identify himself to be a boy or to be a girl, then it's easier for this child. So what is the next thing? What is the next concept? Okay, sorry. Also, children, if they don't understand who they are, they go into identity crisis. Sometimes as children, when they are growing up, if it's a boy and the child has a good hair, some parents will want to make their hair. Maybe because of, they can tag it because of cold. They don't want the child to have cold. They can tag it that they just want it that way. When this child grows up with this, it can confuse the child. The child can see the picture and say, oh, I can actually look this beautiful. Okay, let me try making my hair. So you see, we finally made these children not to know who they are. That is what we call identity crisis. They are thinking, am I really this? That means I can be this. Then when the LGBTQ community comes with their force, with every enticing word, then this child is easily misled. So identity crisis, this resultant effect of not comprehending his or her words, the voices from parents, from teachers, from culture, from society and media, all will bring a suggestion of who this child is not. So you see children putting on earrings because of the voices they have heard right from onset, or from what they see happening around them, because we're not able to inculcate who they are actually. So it becomes a problem. So the next concept is self-acceptance. Self-acceptance. Many children find out things about themselves because they are locked up in comparison. They may discover that, oh, even though my peer is saying my nose is big, the child goes to the mirror and discovers, my nose is actually big. So what's this thing mommy is saying? But you need to teach this child, even though that your nose is big, this is how God made you, and you are unique as a person. Nobody is as unique as you are. And there is a purpose. God made you to be that way. And it is only you having that big nose that can achieve that purpose. So teach the child how special he or she is, so that he will be able to accept his or herself as he is, or as he's made. So let them know that God made them as they are, because they are the best fit for the assignment they are called to do. Then also, in this self-acceptance, sometimes children, they will battle with standard of beauty projected by media. As children begin to grow around 8, 9 years, you see them, they tend to watch, or as they watch television, there is a projected image that shows, oh, this is how if somebody should be, or a teenager should be. You should have figure 8, you should be busty, you should have hips. So all these things, because of the media, it shaping their a standard. It gives them a standard of how a beauty should be projected. But at this moment, what should you help your child to do? Teach them that nobody is perfect. Nobody's structure is perfect, that they are all unique. So let them not have a standard. They keep watching African Magic and say, oh, if you have to be a beautiful girl, that means you need to have figure 8. No, teach them that everybody's structure is unique. And God made them that way because they are special, and they are special for that specific assignment they need to do. Then also, sometimes the child may also perceive him or herself to be overweight. So if you need to correct that child from that because of the overweight, don't come from the point of beauty. Oh, you need to trim down so that you look good. So that no, come from the aspect of health. Oh, darling, if you're this weighty, it can affect your health. So you need to trim down so that you'll be healthy to live longer. So that is for self-acceptance. So the next self-concept we'll be dealing with is self-esteem. Self-esteem. This is from what your child has known and believed about herself. So if your child is able to know who he is, who he perceives he or herself to be, then that can help build the child's self-esteem. So when the child builds this self-esteem, it makes the child. This self-esteem helps the child either to value herself or to devalue herself. Yesterday, I was talking about that you start building self-esteem right from birth. Those the touch we cuddle our children, these nice words we use on them, the songs we sing to them, all helps to build self-esteem. And self-esteem most especially affects the ladies, because self-esteem doesn't come naturally to them, but the boys, it comes naturally to them because the culture have it that once you have a boy, that means you're standing firm in your family. And we train our boys to understand this. So they always, most times they have high self-esteem. So our girls, they are the ones that actually need this. And who are the people that need to build them in this aspect? Most times it's their fathers. And it's a pity that in the culture we find ourselves, most fathers are not involved. They feel that what they need to do is to go out there, get money and give, then go their way. No, your girl child needs you as a father. You're very important to that child. The words you use at the child are very important. It helps build your child's self-esteem, so that in case as the child keeps growing, at that age, when they seek to get affirmation from the male opposite sex, if the father was there doing it for them, it will not be a big deal for them. But if the father is not there, then it will be a very big thing for them. When a boy tells him, oh, you look beautiful, it trickles them. When a boy tells you, oh, you look so fine, can I take you away? Because nobody has done this, especially the father. No male figure has done it for the child in her life. So she tends to be drifted away when such conversation arises. So in self-esteem, you need to teach your child. Your child keeps thinking, oh, do I look beautiful? Do I feel loved? Do I feel adequate? And who should do this thing for these children to understand that they are beautiful how they are is the parents, not just the fathers now, also the mother involved. So you need to use words. I begin to find out that words are so powerful. So we need to coin out affirmative words we use on our children. All these things help give the child, let the child know, okay, even though my nose is big, even though my ear is big, because my dad, my mom is affirming me, oh, angel, you look like an angel, you look so beautiful. Then it's easier for the child to assimilate this and also help build the child's self-esteem. Okay, we also see life from the lens of the perception of our value. Anything we perceive ourselves to be, If we perceive that we are low because of the things we have said, if we perceive that we have low self-esteem, you see, you begin to make shabby decisions. That is why most parents now, the decisions they made to get either a wife or a husband is based on the esteem the child has while growing up. People said, my mates have married though, and no man has asked my hand in marriage. So any man that comes, the girl will just give in. After all, let me go for this one I've seen. So if a child has a low self-esteem, he makes shabby choices. So we actually need to build children, especially the girls. So we use more of words of affirmation and also commend their efforts. Any little thing they do, commend it so that they will do more. Then the next is self-control. The next self-concept is self-control. When it comes to self-control, this is core for boys. Boys, as they from 2-3 years, you see they begin to throw tantrums, even as children, but it is more in boys. They begin to throw tantrums because they're not in charge of their emotions. Something is worrying them, but they don't know how to say it. Their thoughts, their words, their actions. So self-control is ability for one to delay gratification. Somebody is having a desire, so he's looking for satisfaction. This self-control is very basic in children. That our men are misbehaving, that our men are looking for any girl to sleep with, is people that lack self-control. So we see self-control as a city with a gate. When a city has a gate, you may want to do something, but because of that gate, you can't do it. So you delay that gratification until when you have the right time to do it. So when it comes to self-control, what do we begin to teach our children? Because it is at this stage you need to teach. You need to teach boundaries. A child is throwing tantrum. It is not time for you to leave that child. That child is throwing that tantrum because he's lacking words. He doesn't know what's happening to him. So you as the parent, what you need to do, don't leave the child at that time or don't shout, oh, this child, stop crying. No, what you need to do, give him words. Or you feel frustrated because your toy was taken away from you, or you feel this way, or are you feeling sleepy? Giving that child words, help the child know, oh, if I feel this way, the next time I'll know this is what is happening to me. Or the child is throwing tantrum and wants to hit somebody. Tell him, no, yes, you can feel this way, but you don't do harmful things to others. Then also, you need to teach boundaries. The boundaries could also be, you buy something and you're in the car. We're talking of self-control. You're in the car, you bought maybe an ice cream, maybe biscuit. Because you want to teach your child delayed gratification, you can tell the child, okay, we're not eating it in the car. When you get home, that's when you need to eat it. So these little things are the things that teach your child self-control. Then also, the brain research shows that a child starts developing this skill between the age of 3 to 4 years. That is when that instinct for self-control, it's open for the child to learn. And this will take many years for the child to master this ability. So that you've tried it today, it didn't work, keep trying it. Persistence is the key when it comes to raising children. So you need to teach boundary, teach the child, okay, when you feel this way, stop. In that stopping, it helps the child to think. Stop, think of what you are about to say or what you're about to do. This choice is, what is it going to do? Who is it going to affect? Is it the right choice or is it the wrong choice? Then you stop, think, and also act. So if you have determined, okay, this is the right choice, my mom told me, my dad told me, anytime this thing comes up, this is how I will settle it. Then it's easier for the child to do that. So these are the 4 basic self-concepts we will discuss. The first, self-identity. 2, self-acceptance. The 3rd one, self-esteem. And the 4th one, self-control. So when you have these self-concepts, it's easier for you to go on with your discussions with your boys and girls. So for your sex education to be effective, it must contain the following. If you must have sex conversation with your children, these are the contents of your education. The first one, it must have relevant knowledge, and this relevant knowledge must be appropriate to age. When you see a small child, as a child is growing, in our first day one, we listed ages, specific ages you should teach children what they should know. So when a child is still young, for you to give the child relevant knowledge, the knowledge you can teach the child is the parts of the body. The child needs to know the parts of the body. Then if he's a teenager, you don't keep teaching the teenager parts of the body. It's not relevant. The knowledge is not relevant to the child. So at that age, as a teenager, these children begin to have feelings. They begin to have crushes. How will you teach this child? Which knowledge will you teach this child that the child will know, okay, when I'm having feelings, how I'll behave? How do I behave? Then in this relevant knowledge, you teach them about body changes. In boys, most times as they are growing, yes, the penis begins to enlarge. But there are some people, their own is not that big. They have differences in size of penis or size of breast or size of buttocks. And most times their peers, because they are ill-informed, they can tell you, your penis is this size or your breast is this size because you've not been having sex. But if it is that the mother, the parents have equipped these children to know that it is not true, then the child already have the knowledge. Even when their peers are discussing this, they'll say, no, that is not true. So they will not be deceived. So that's why our first conversation must contain relevant knowledge appropriate to the age. Then after this knowledge, it must be accompanied with skills. What skill am I going to teach my child? My child is having feeling. If I'm having feeling, what do I do? Do I need to concentrate on the feeling? Do I need to leave that place to visit a friend? Do I need to channel my energy on things that I'm passionate about? So that's how this child will get, that's the skill you're teaching the child to learn. Then also refusal skills are also some of the skills you can teach your girl child or the male child. Maybe a child is chatting on phone and the other party is telling you, okay, send nude picture. Does the child know when to say, no, I can't do this because it's not part of my family value? Does my child know when to say, I need to close my phone because I have seen something that is not in line with my family value? So these are the accompanying skills. When you teach your child, don't do this. Make sure you don't get pregnant at this age. Make sure you don't have sex at this age. When such feelings come, you teach them how to handle it. I believe I'm getting it. I believe you can hear me and I'm making sense. Okay. Okore Peter, you're welcome. Watching from Scotland, you're welcome. That's great. Then Favor Adezu, you're welcome. I'm happy to have you here. So let's continue with contents of our sex conversation. The next content is that you need to paint scenarios. Give them examples. When you tell your child, when you tell your child that, okay, let's use, for instance, a small child. He has an uncle, and every day the uncle comes in. I'm giving you an example of painting a scenario when you're having sex discussion with your child. And the uncle comes in, and this uncle maybe has been molesting the child because you've not taught the child what to do. So now you're teaching the child, you can start, okay, when an uncle comes and tell you sit down, or your uncle is becoming unnecessarily nice to you, which he has not been doing before. So when he does that, then you should pick, maybe something is happening. You can talk to mommy, or an uncle puts hand in the vagina of a child. If you have taught this child, the child knows that, okay, this is this. I need to tell my mom because you have equipped the child with the skill. So paint examples where this kind of things can occur. Or your child is with a friend and that friend happens to be the opposite sex. And once the child starts feeling uncomfortable, what should the child do? The child should leave that place immediately. So you're giving the child instances, or the child goes for a party, and that party, as they see the party, it's something not relating to what she or he actually thinks, or the party is getting wild. What does the child do? He should leave that place. So you're giving the child instances. So all these things, the next content, all these things will help your child. It will empower your child to know what to do. Then the next one is that you should empower children to make informed decisions regarding sex. It's still what I was explaining. So any knowledge you're giving this child is to empower that child. You want to empower this child to make decisions regarding sex, sexuality, and also the child's health. So what are the stages? We're progressing the stages in boys and girls. There are different stages in boys and girls that will help you. I think I broke it down into what can help you, how you, the stages you can teach your children what they should know at that age. So in age 0 to 4 years, boys are prone to abuse from their caregivers. So parents have the primary responsibility to protect them from abuse. So especially the tender ones, the younger ones, 0, 1, 2 years. Then what should you do to protect them is to teach them the appropriate names. I think in day one, we established why we should not be afraid when we're having these discussions. Because what you're doing, you're empowering this child. So teach them to use the appropriate names. Show them, okay, this is my head, this is my eyes, my nose, my mouth, my breast, my tummy, my penis, my vagina. Let the child not be ashamed. Let the child feel free. I taught my children that, and almost every time they come, oh, mommy, this person, their siblings, they're playing. This one touched my penis, this one touched my. Somehow it looks embarrassing. But it makes them feel comfortable, and it makes you know if a stranger touches the child in a strange way, the child will, and the child comes to tell you, no, yes, my child knows this is his or her penis, my child knows this is his or her vagina. So it makes the child get comfortable with it. Why we are even uncomfortable with it is because of how the society has painted it to be. So you teach the child to use the appropriate names and also show them what a good picture is. You can get pictures. This is a good picture. Then you get somebody that is naked. This is a bad picture. Whenever you see a bad picture anywhere, be it in the phone, be it on television, what should you do? Off that television, off the phone, then come and tell daddy or mommy. Or if daddy and mommy are not there, tell a trusted adult, an adult that fears God, an adult that have the kind of family values you have. Then the next thing, from 5 to 12 years, these people at this age, they are too curious. So their curiosity. The curiosity can be taken advantage of by the parents and also by the predators. So if you know that, okay, my child is curious, my child wants to know, you take that advantage to teach your child. Don't be shy about it. Teach your child that thing that child is persistently asking. Then also predators can take advantage. Because this child is ignorant and the child may not even know. I told us at this stage, between that 3 to 6 years, it is the phallic stage. They like to play with their penis. They like to play with their the private part. So a child may be doing it because of the libido he's getting from that psychosexual state he is in. So a predator can come and see the child doing it and say, oh, this child knows this thing. And the man or woman may want to encourage. But if you have taught your child, oh, you don't do this, nobody touches it, not even daddy, not even mommy, then the child is aware, oh, this is bad. So they are exposed to a world of sexual related vices. We need to teach them. Reinforce our previous teaching, that's the 0 to 4 years, teaching them about good pictures, using the names. Then respect for privacy. I told you that these children are curious, so they want to know what is happening. Teach them before you enter daddy's and mommy's, knock. If you have an adult in the house, before he enters that room, knock. If they tell you coming, then you come in. Then the same thing with media. I talked about the family media guide. Yes, if you need it, the guide, go to the description, you will get it. So the family media guide is a guide. It spelled out so many things that will help you guide your child. It gives a time frame when your child should watch television or to be on the media. So you teach them. Then this media also games for boys. There are so many games that are infiltrated nowadays. So children, they can be playing game and something pops up. So you teach your child, whenever you see any nude picture, it is time to stop, close that place, talk to a trusted adult, talk to your parents. So this will help the children. Another phase of life, stage of life that children need to be taught is from 9 to 14 years. Now, at this stage, their emotions are heightened, and this is what determines their behaviors and actions. So because there is hormone surge in their body, that hormone causes them to have various feelings. So when they have these feelings, you tell them, okay, it's okay, but when you have that feeling, this is what you should do. Also, children at this age, because they tend to watch, if you're in Nigeria, African Magic, they use it to keep themselves busy. So these movies frame they frame what is okay for them. When a child keeps seeing a lady that is always dressing skimpy, they believe, oh, if I become a teenager, so I should dress skimpy to attract boys. So we need to monitor what they watch. The family media guide will help you a lot. Then another thing is music. So many of our music now are infiltrated. You see so many nude pictures. So in that family media guide, you also get the type of channels children should watch. Then also the books they read. There are so many novels that are not also good for children. So they should know what to do at a particular time. Then also children at this age are influenced by peer pressures. But if a parent is now the first person that mentioned anything sex to the child and the child has a problem, he runs to the parent. But if the parent is not able to teach this to the child, or the parent feels shy about it, when the child needs something, he goes to the peer, because this peer is always there. They discuss it as friends, they teach it. So you need to also teach your child how to make friends at this age. Most times they like to mingle. So you can't separate your child, stop having friends. No, the child won't reach its maximal potential. So at this time, teach your child how to make friends. Make friends that have the same family values with you. This will help your child a lot. Then also at this age, 9 to 14 years, talk about pornography. Most children, you hand over a phone to them and they see something, a naked picture. You've not taught them what to do with a naked picture. When they go there, before you know it, they become addicted to pornography. The same thing with LGBTQ. So you need to teach your child at this age all these things. Then mentoring is very important for children at this age. Mentoring. If a child doesn't have, when it comes to the friendship pattern in children, as they are growing, let me give you a quick summary. When it comes to friendship, as children are growing, their parents are the most important person in their life. But around 6, 7 years, they begin to make friends. Even though their parents are important, they've also gotten another important friend, which is their peers. Then at around, when they start approaching puberty, their parents are no longer that important. So they tend to listen to what the society has for them. They tend to listen to what media is saying. They tend to listen to what their peers are saying. But at this time, if as a parent, you're wise enough to introduce mentorship, mentorship could be your brother or your sister that is living in your house. So because you're teaching that person the same thing you're learning, this child, when he has a problem and he feels he can't come to you, he will go to that mentor you have put before the person. And it's easier for the child to learn. But if at any time there was nothing like mentorship, he goes back to his friends. He goes to the internet to find his answer, because he will not come to you. The only time children will come to you at this age, that's this 9 to 14 years, is when you have built you've built a good relationship, a healthy relationship with them. Then they will come to you not to ask you the main question, just to confirm something. They may have looked at the information from different sources. So they now want to compare what is your opinion. So at this stage, if they have mentors they look up to, it is easier for them to go to their mentors than to come to you. Then the next phase in friendship is now the phase when you're at the 4th floor. Your child always only come to confirm things from you and not to get information from you. Then your media plan, I've said it, it's very important. Find our media guide so that you'll be guided on how to use it for your children. Then another age is from 11 to 18 years. At this age, girls start to feel the need to be validated by the opposite sex. So if you have not done your work right from childhood, if you have not used words of affirmation, if you have not used lovely words on these children, then at this age, they are target for boys that will give them, maybe it can just be a word of affirmation. The girl follows the boy. So we need to be very careful. At this age, keep validating keep speaking to your child. Tell your child how beautiful he or she is. Tell him how he or she, the effort he or she has been making. It will help your child a lot. Then self-value for many will come from the opposite sex. This is still from the boys, from the girls. So if the opposite says, oh, your face is this way, the child puts it to heart. If the opposite says rejects a child, a boy or a girl, they feel the pain. So at this stage, you don't need to leave your child. Keep affirming, as I said earlier. Then boys at this age, they want to experiment. So if it is that your child lacks self-control, it becomes a very big problem. I talked about the concept of self-control. If you're not able to build this self-control in your child right from that age 3, you keep teaching, you keep setting boundaries, okay? Maybe from this time to 5 to 6, that is when playtime is over. You come into the house. You don't stay at home late night, except maybe you went out and for a reason. Before you stay that out, you should let your parents know about it. So self-control, very important for boys at this age. So keep validating the girls, then remind the boys of their vision in life. It is vision, something a child has passion for. It is what will keep this child from not defiling he or herself. So teach them the consequences of not waiting. You ask your child, okay, as a teenager and you want to have sex, are you ready to finance a girl you impregnated? Do you have the finance to take care of this girl? Are you able to come out from school because your school will be affected and to take care of a child? So if a child is aware this is the consequence that may come out from this, and the child has self-control, it is sure that this child may not try this. Then lastly, for 18 to 21 years, girls are considered ready to date. So at this age, does your child, do you have a dating plan for this child? Or does your child just, he feels that, mostly the girls, he feels that at any day, because I am at this age, I can date anybody. Is he dating for a reason, or he's just dating because every other person is dating? So in your home, you can have a dating plan. Okay, from this age, we're going to start dating. But if we must date, it must be for a purpose. You don't just date because you're having feeling for a guy. You don't just date because you think you've entered university. You only date when you know you're prepared to get married. So in that way, you don't make mistakes. So we even begin this dating plan as early as 9 years. The friendship you expose your children to, most times it is amongst that friendship that they will also find the people. The environment could be in church, the environment could be people you think you associate with. You expose your children to this. Then tell them the things you need that will be good for her as a girl before she gets married. Also tell the boys, the things they need to find in a woman that will make the child to know, okay, this person is good for marriage. So let your child not date because others are dating, but let it be because he has a purpose in mind and he's also capable to deal with anything that comes out of that. So hubby, this stage comes with a lot of fantasy ideas about what relationships are about. Girls in this phase, they are prone to date rape. So you also teach your child the dangers. When you're dating, you don't stay late nights. When you're dating, as you're going out, let your parents know where you are going to and who you're dating. If possible, bring the person to the house. Let your parents know this person. Know where the child comes from, so that you begin to relate, to know actually if this person is good. Though you're not the one to make the decision, it's your child. So you teach your child about the dangers. There can be dangers for girls, date rape, even for boys. Then also to explore drugs for boys. Most times at this stage, their peers can tell you, you never touch woman. Go take this one. When you take her, you no go know yourself. You go and you touch a woman. So these are the dangers we need to teach our children. Then money issues again. This is for girls. Most times, if they feel they don't have money, they want to go and have sex. So at this age, it's also the time you can tell your child, if he or she is out of school or there is an opportunity, a holiday, you can use it. She or he should go and learn a skill. In learning skills, from there he can make little monies he can use to buy things that he needs. So money issues are involved in sex conversation. Drug issues are also involved in sex conversation. Then the boys are also pressured in this area when it comes to sex, when it comes to drug, pornography, and Yahoo boys. The family media will solve this problem of pornography and Yahoo boys. Then engaging your child with skills, equipping them with skills would help a lot. So we're actually coming to the conclusion. If you have any question at this time, you can begin to drop your question. If there is any comment, you can do that. Then conclusion says, having sex conversation with your child equips your child to remove self from harmful situation. If you have sex conversation with your children as a parent, it will help your child to know, oh, this is a harmful situation. I need to live here now. It helps your child identify when someone wants to hurt them. Okay, there was something that happened where I was living. One day, a teenager was passing and a man was urinating by the side. Seeing the teenager, he didn't know someone else was coming. So he brought out his pennies and was showing the teenager. So until he saw that I was coming, then he now quickly hid it. So you can paint these scenarios for your children so that they will know, okay, this is danger, this is a harmful situation. When I sense that, I can run away so that he will not be endangered. Then you also teach your child to report when someone attempts to touch his or her private parts. Then lastly, in conclusion, you keep your child empowered by equipping him with this knowledge. So we see there is no need for us to be afraid any longer when it comes to sex conversation, because you are empowering these children with the knowledge they will need to take themselves away from harmful situations, to take themselves away from regrettable experiences. So if you have a question, I have an assignment here. And the assignment says, okay, awesome, well done, Ma. Thank you, Favor. So the assignment says, build up words of affirmation to be used daily for your children. I told us words of affirmation helps build self-esteem. So I would like us, when you go home, think of words you can coin for your children. I am a boy. I am wonderfully and fearfully made. I am a girl. Nobody is like me. I am beautiful. I will wait till marriage. I will wait for sex till marriage, because that is the best I can have it. So coin all these words and use it on your children. When your child fails, don't tell your child, you're good for nothing. No, you're bringing down that child's self-esteem. So we have come to the end of this class. If you have questions, you can drop it here. And at any time you watch this and there is a question, you can drop it, or you can find in the description for our WhatsApp link, our support link. Click on it, ask your questions. I'll be there to answer you. Thank you once again. Thank you, Peter Okorie. Thank you, Favor Adeze. I'm not taking your time for granted. Thank you for being out here with me. It's a privilege. So see you. Then if you also like to get the family media guide, when to know that my child needs a smartphone, please, the link is also down. It's also down, you can get it. So bye. This is the end of our SES conversation class. Join our WhatsApp group so that you can see different updates and different things we do in the academy. Bye.